What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. I got a custom side shifter job that I did for a customer with an emergency call. So this side shifter here, basically it's a sealed side shifter. There's no way to change the seals. I tried cutting it here on that corner and it didn't work. There was no way I can change the seals without burning it. So what I'm doing here is I have this John Deere side shifter, and not a side shifter, a John Deere steer cylinder that I had laying around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut each end off on each one and weld it back on and get him running. I'll have to take these fittings out right here and get custom made ones so they can match up. The hoses also, I'm going to have to do new hoses because they're going to be too short. But yeah, customer, I offered him a price for a new one and he said no, go ahead and do what you need to do to get me running. I have a big load coming in tomorrow, so I need the forklift. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to weld on the ends. I'm going to cut the ends off, weld them on in here, and get him going. So the way this one works compared to the other one is pretty much the same. They just put the fittings in the middle. So I'm going to cut the ends off here and on each side. This cylinder is pretty much the same size and everything. Thankfully I had this one laying around and it's almost identical. The rod length is almost the same. The cylinder itself is almost the same. The only difference is the fittings and where the fittings go, which is okay. I mean, any hydraulic shop that you take it to, they're gonna match up the fittings. They're gonna be able to get the right size for you, so there's no worries there. I wasn't able to record me taking off those black pieces where it hooks onto the forklift from the other one. I figured I wouldn't waste time, and I just cut them off. And here I'm basically putting them on each end, trying to measure up to see if they fit, and that's pretty much it. All right, so a trick that I use to be able to put these two pieces in the back and so that they can line up together is I found this. This is an axle from a load wheel from a pallet jack, electric pallet jack, and it just so happens to be the exact size of the hole, the diameter of the hole where the pin goes through in the side shifter. So what I did was I held it there, and then I took a Sharpie and I marked to see where exactly I needed to put it so that it's even on both sides, it's level, and it's not gonna move when I weld it. So you can use some other tools. You can use things like a magnetic holder to help you do it, to be able to help you put it in place. There's a bunch of different tools that you can use. This way, I found this way to be the quickest for me. The space in between those two pieces is about 3/4 inch. So I'm just measuring to make sure that the width is correct here. Like I said, you can use a magnet to help you hold that in place. You can clamp it down, but to be honest, this was the quickest way. I just used a pin to make sure that it was even and straight and level, and then when I had it leveled, I took my welder and I tack welded that in place. And then if for whatever reason I didn't think it was straight enough, then I would just break the tack, line it up again, measure it, and then tack weld it on. Once I found that it was even, level, and everything, then I just completely welded it through. All right, so this is more or less the finished product in the front. I gotta grind this down to make it look a little bit prettier, but this is just polished after 2 passes through to make sure that it's really strong on there and it's not gonna fall or break. So I don't have a crazy expensive welder. I mean, it does the job. It's a MIG 140, so it does the job. I probably could have stick welded this, but since it's so close to the cylinder and I didn't want to burn through anything, I just decided to MIG weld it, and I think the process came out pretty good. And now it's time to do the back. All right, so my camera actually died before I could record welding the back, but pretty much the same process. I just went all the way around the corners, a little bit in the inside, not too much in the inside because I started getting some splatter in there and I didn't want to potentially get into the actual hole where the pin goes through. But there's not a whole bunch of force that goes into the back. It just needs to be well welded and solidly welded around in the top and the bottom corners. And so yeah, that's the finished product, and we're gonna get it ready to install tomorrow. And from here on out, we need to get 2 new hoses and new fittings to adapt this cylinder into the side shifter. All right, here we're at the forklift. You can see the old hoses here and the pins where the side shifter goes to, where those pieces that we welded onto the cylinder. And so I'm gonna take these hoses off. I'm gonna go make new hoses with new fittings because they're way too short. They're not gonna reach the middle of the cylinder. I probably could have painted the cylinder black, but I was kind of in a hurry to get it done and to get it to the customer very early the next morning, so that he can move his produce and be able to keep his company running and a little downtime. So yeah, so we're gonna take these hoses off here and we're gonna make them 7 inches longer, and that way we have enough room just in case you don't want to make them too short and then you have to go back and make new hoses. Kind of measured it more or less, and here are the new fittings that I told him to put on. I told him to get 90 degrees going into the cylinder and then the same ones going back into the forklift. So yeah, they ended up working really great. Customer was super happy, and we were able to get the job done real quick, and the turnaround time was actually really quickly. And so here it is on the forklift. Everything worked great, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. Please comment, like, and thank you.